happened to me a lot. I'm having like a mental block on like what your name is right now.
Matthew?
Yeah, that's scary, dude. It's been happening to me like.
It happens to me all the time. I'm not good with names. I'm like, what's that name?
Good evening, guys. Thanks for tuning in to The Extra Point. I'm Horace Priester, and on the panel with me today is Zach Anderson, and we're going to be talking about college football as well as the NFL. We're going to be taking you around the league as well as some other great games that happened over the weekend. First off, Notre Dame versus Clemson. Insane game, probably one of the best games Clemson has seen at home. What do you guys think about that game?
Yeah, that was a very good game. The crowd was very into it. Passionate fans. Pulled out the win, 24-22. Struggled late in the fourth quarter, started slowing it down a little bit, running the ball, but pulled out the win.
The greatest game in Death Valley that we will see, in our college career. And the sad part is we are lucky to get away with the win. I honestly feel like we are.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was raving about our defense and everything, and they did come up with a huge stop, but they let up 19 fourth quarter points. Over like 400 total yards compared to our 300 or 200, something like that. That can't happen. I mean, we're lucky to get away with the win. I mean, that's basically the bottom line there.
Yeah. I mean, we got off to a quick start with Artavis Scott, Jordan Leggett, those two first touchdowns. Then we kind of took our foot off the gas a little bit. I mean, like you said, I think it was like 129, 100, some like high amount of decibels that was like deafening. So that also caused Notre Dame to have like two penalties in a row, 2 or 3 penalties.
Now, thank you for saying that, by the way. Thank you.
Right tackle was killing him.
I mean, I have really bad short-term memory loss. Who said that Death Valley is going to be a key factor last week on the show? Who said that? Was that you?
That was
Is
you.
that Willie? Was that you?
I mean, I wasn't disagreeing with you.
You were right.
And speaking of Willie, he's not here this week.
No show.
I think he was scared. He felt the heat coming from us last week, but guys, he'll be back next week for sure. But yeah, I mean, definitely, you can tell Deshaun Kaiser felt the pressure.
He had never been in an environment like that.
He started off great, but you could tell when 2 minutes left, he didn't know where to go, he didn't know where to look. We punted the ball, we gave him back to stop us 3 and out on one drive, and the very next play he threw an interception without a bat.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that he was kind of shaky. I mean, that's going to be good practice for him coming forward. I mean, Notre Dame is a great team. Honestly, Notre Dame is better than Clemson, in my opinion.
We shut down CJ Precise. That was the key
big
part
time.
of the
That
game.
was the key part.
Especially trying to run the
crazy stat that I saw, I'm going to make sure that I say this here perfectly here. All right, the Irish ran the ball 33 times this week. This weekend. All right. Notre Dame is 31-4, including Clemson's loss. 31-4 in the last 35 games when they rushed the ball at least 30 times. They rushed the ball 33 times last week, and we stopped them. So that was huge for the defense. It's huge for Clemson. And like I said, Clemson is a great team. Don't get me wrong. I do believe they deserve being 6, but I do think Notre Dame is one heck of a team, and Notre Dame's not 15.
Yeah, the defense forced 4 turnovers last week. Could have been easily 5. Ben Boulware dropped that interception, but. The defense played pretty good, pretty well. They didn't do a great job containing Kaiser running the ball, but
no, they didn't. I mean, there were so many times where we had him in the backfield,
and then it just escaped.
Yeah. I mean, that was one thing that was definitely that was one thing that I was looking at. I was like, we got to get that. When we play Florida State, when we play, hopefully, Ohio State or TCU in a bowl game, hopefully, that's something that we really got to work on. Is we got to contain that quarterback. Can't happen.
And then there was also the fact that Brian Kelly decided to go for 2 when they scored that touchdown when it was 21-9. If he had just kicked the extra point, they wouldn't have had to go for 2 at the end. So that would have made it go into overtime. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah. Another interesting stat here, Clemson and Notre Dame going into last week, they were ranked 1st and 5th. Clemson was ranked 1st, and Notre Dame was ranked 5th in 3 and outs on defense this year. All right, Notre Dame stopped them, I think, 6 times or forced 6 3 and outs against Clemson. Clemson had 6 3 and outs, and Notre Dame only had 2. So once again, I mean that's another stat in Notre Dame's favor. and going to get back to what I said, Clemson is lucky to get out of there with the win.
A lot of
they
drop
are.
passes and
They are.
fumbles
Big
thrown
time.
in.
Big time.
Oh, yeah.
Like a huge factor, honestly. I know you guys probably watch College Game Day. I believe it was Kirk Herbstreit said, whichever team can handle the weather better is going to come out with the win. I thought that proved to be so true. I feel like Clemson kind of played through it, kept the ball on the ground, and didn't really have that many turnovers. Where the complete opposite, as you guys were saying, just interceptions and fumbles on Notre Dame's part. And I know this is a huge what-if question, but if it wasn't raining, do you see Clemson getting the win?
No.
I don't.
No. Not
The
at all.
fact that Deshaun Kaiser threw for 341 yards in the rain.
Yeah.
And they dropped a lot of passes and those fumbles.
A lot
Yeah,
of
like
passes.
Will Fuller, he was wide open. I remember across the middle, he dropped
Dropped
it, and
it, yeah.
normally that would have been like 40-yard gain, maybe even a touchdown. He dropped it.
Exactly.
So
I mean,
At the
Chris
same
Brown.
time, though, at the
Hold
same
on.
time.
Well,
could you-
just real quick, Chris Brown. I'm sorry, this is going to make your point real quick. I mean, Chris Brown had that fumble on the 2.
Yeah.
That's a touchdown.
Yeah.
With,
Yeah, that was-
with
that was
good
great,
weather. That's a
yeah.
touchdown with good weather.
Like at the same time though, don't you think that like our whole offensive scheme was totally, altered because of the weather? Like we definitely played way more conservative than we needed to just because of the kind of conditions. So that's a counterpoint, I guess, is that maybe our offense would have been a little bit more productive. But what do you guys think about the offense's performance? Like we talked about grades last week. What do you kind of grade the offense on Clemson last week?
First half, I definitely have to say an A. We came out very fast. Those first 2 drives, moving the ball downfield very fast, high pace, high tempo, and we kind of slowed down after we got those first 2 touchdowns. So I have to go with an A the first half.
I would go. I mean, if you guys were tuning in last week, I'm a strict grader, strict but fair. Okay, strict but fair.
yeah, somewhat fair.
I give Clemson offense a D, and hear me out here. In the first 11 plays in the first half, Clemson had 104 yards. They had 296 yards total. So they had almost half of their yards in 11 plays.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the first 2 minutes, or the first 5 minutes of the first half and the first 2 minutes of the second half were awesome. They were. I mean, our offense was awesome, our defense was awesome. But
Special teams, too.
Special teams was
Yeah,
unreal.
special teams. Yeah.
I mean, our special teams, other than the missed field goal, was awesome. But like I said, our offense was not very good, and you made a huge point, like playing conservative and everything. I hate playing conservative. You kind of need to. You gotta play clock management, but you can't play that conservative.
Yeah,
The reason why they had so many 3-and-outs was because they play conservative.
exactly.
For the first 2 drives, I'd give them an A+, because Artavis Scott, Jordan Leggett, just slinging the ball, Deshaun having that big run and pulling it down the sideline. So first 2 drives, A+. The rest of the offense, I'm not going to go with D. I'm going to go maybe a C, C-. But they were really too conservative. They kept running Deshaun take it like this and then just go and
Yeah, a lot of quarterback draws.
A lot of misconfusion too. I mean, there was this one when we were on our backs around our goal line, and Gallman was doing a design run to the left, and Deshaun was to the
went the
right.
wrong way,
and then, I mean, granted, he did get I think 7 yards out of that, which is, I mean, obviously, that's not what I'm complaining about. I'm just saying there was a lot of confusion. I mean, you can blame that on the loud, stadium and everything.
Yeah.
But once again, I mean, that's not good. If that's not what team, the number 6 team, and in the top 4 teams, that's not what they do.
Especially at home.
Especially at home, you got to know. Especially at home, you got to know that you're coming into that loud place, and you got to be hyped. But you can't make mistakes in your own. You can't have home field advantage when you're making the mistakes because it's so loud.
Yeah, definitely.
And speaking of last week's games, there's a couple huge kind of shakeups in the top 10. Of course, Georgia dropping out, and then Alabama popping back into the top 10, as well as Ole Miss falling out. What do you guys think about the new top 10? Do you agree with it?
Yes and no. I feel like Florida has a really good team. Florida Florida State, I think, has a pretty good. They have a pretty good team too. But going up and down the list, college football is just not exciting to me this year. I mean, obviously it's college football. It's exciting, but there's just not that many powerhouse teams. There's not that many teams where you look and be like,
kind of balanced.
It's well balanced this year.
It's well balanced, and there's not that one team. I don't know. There's just looking up and down this. Even Ohio State, they're ranked 1.
Everybody's beatable.
Everybody's beatable. Yeah. Which isn't. I was just gonna say it's just not fun for me.
Yeah.
Because there's just not that one team that I feel like is the for sure number 1. But the one thing I am extremely happy about is Ole Miss dropping 11 points to 14.
Hey, hold
Thank
up,
God.
hold up. Not
Thank
so
God.
fast, as Lee Corso would say. Last week, if I remember correctly, we brought up the Ole Miss versus Florida game, and you said, man, it's not even going to be a game. In fact, if You don't believe me. Do you believe me, Anderson?
I sure as hell hope not.
Okay, hey,
Did you quote me?
I'm gonna play a clip from last week's game.
Don't play.
Last week's show right now. Check it out.
That's what was on.
I hope it doesn't work. You got real mature guys.
The Florida game is going to be a big game. I don't think
Can you even hear
Florida
it?
game's
I
gonna
can't
be
hear
a
it.
big game. I don't
Zoomed
think
in that much, really?
Florida game's going to be a big game.
38-10, the final. Florida pulls off the upset. Ole Miss no longer unbeaten. That's the first loss.
Yeah, okay, first of all, I don't know what the exact... I said it's not going to be a good game.
You didn't...
I said it was not going to be a good game. I didn't say Ole Miss was going to win, did I?
You said it was not going to be a big game. That was huge. That was huge.
I said it's not... I said... Now, if you go before and after... now, this is where I'm pretty sure, okay? If you go before and after that, I've not or ever been an Ole Miss fan. I do not think they were number 3. And I'm pretty sure I told you, I was like, any team that jumps 15 to 3 does not deserve to be number 3. I told him that because okay, so now I'm good.
That's a huge.
You are doing what everybody does. You're taking quotes out of context. And once again, Horace, I'm gonna come through that camera. Okay? Next time you show a clip of me and slow it down and make me look dumb, get the good context, Horace.
Bro, you just gotta make a clip of them and play it on here.
I'm just gonna make like. I swear to God, Horace. No, but honestly, it did shake up things, but it was, in my opinion, not a big game. Ole Miss is not that good. Ole Miss did not deserve to be number 3. Now, because they're number 3, it was a big
What do you
game.
think of Florida now?
I do think Florida's good. I don't think they deserve to be in the top 10. I do think they're good. Their defense is pretty awesome.
Yeah, Brandon
Okay.
Hargreaves is a monster.
Yes.
He did very well against Laquan Treadwell.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Like I said, Florida's defense is good. Ole Miss is not that good. Okay, and when I said it wasn't going to be a good game, I didn't mean like it was going to be a blowout or anything like that, or Florida winning. I meant like Ole Miss is not that good. I'm not going to pay attention to that game because that game just shouldn't be as good as what everybody thought it was going to be. That's what I meant. And if you went before, a couple minutes before, and a couple minutes after, you would have got that quote, Horace.
Oh my gosh! But overall, going back to the topic, you guys don't have any problems with the top 10. I mean, the SEC doesn't have no top 5 teams for the first time in a couple years.
The SEC isn't that good.
Well, I think they all have to play each other, so it's going to work its way out later in the season, especially in the West.
Well, I don't agree with Ohio State being number 1. I think they should. I mean, maybe number 2, number 3, but number 1. I mean, they almost lost to Virginia Tech.
Did they?
They didn't lose though.
Yeah,
They're
but
still
their
undefeated.
quarterback got injured. He got out of the game. They had momentum, and then they almost lost.
So you tell me. Are you telling me that if that quarterback stayed in, Ohio State would have lost?
They would have had a much better chance of losing. Yeah.
Did you see Ezekiel Elliott last week?
If you see Ezekiel Elliott,
he was a monster last week.
He is Leonard Fournette. He is Leonard Fournette, almost identically. Is that a word? Identically? Identically is a word. I'm a business major. Okay. Who cares? All right. But Ezekiel Elliott, you look at their stats. I mean, 200-yard games up the wazoo. Okay. Yeah. Ezekiel Elliott had 270-yard games his last 3 games last season.
Yeah,
he had 3 touchdowns on 250 yards last week.
If you lose by 7 to an unranked team, you shouldn't. I mean, if you win by 7 against an unranked team, you shouldn't. Be number 1.
So Clemson shouldn't be 6 then, because they almost lost to Louisville. Now that bias comes in.
Yeah, but Louisville, we all know that they're better than Indiana.
So who do you think should be number 1?
Is Louisville ranked?
They're not, but if you
What's
go
Louisville's record, first of all? Do you know Louisville's record?
I don't know their record. I just know their defense is pretty legit.
Legit as in the fact that they've only won 1 game?
Well, that could also be attributed to their offense.
It could be. It could be. But I mean, if you score and can't score, you're going to lose, okay? They let people score, okay? A good defense just wouldn't let people score, I guess. I mean, Ohio State, yes, they have had some shaky games. Yeah, okay, yes, that's true. But they are undisputed number 1.
They're still winning.
So
they're still winning the games.
Both of you think Ohio State is number 1?
Yes.
Really? Over TCU or Baylor or?
And Louisville's 2 and 3.
TCU played a terrible Texas team.
Horace, don't quote me next week, okay? I switched it to 2 and 3.
Hey, be careful what you say. I watch these episodes, Anderson.
Well, I know you do.
I do my homework.
Yeah, that's right. I guess I'm gonna have to start doing mine too.
I actually
Go on.
I actually like Michigan State at number 2. That win against Oregon, I think, just boosted them up to number 2. But
You like Michigan State at 2, or do you think they deserve 4, or do you think they deserve staying at 2?
I like Michigan State at 2. TCU at 4. They didn't play anybody this week. They played Texas. Who have they played so far this season? Texas Tech, maybe.
See, now people.
I have to wait until that Baylor game to see what they do.
People like you say that exact same thing. They didn't play anybody, and yes, that's true. I mean, Ohio State and Indiana. Okay, Indiana's not that good, but Ohio State still won. TCU smacked the living crap.
It's Texas.
I don't care. You beat Texas, okay? It's Texas, exactly. But you beat them that bad if you're that good of a team.
What was it, like 50
and they
points
did.
or something?
50-7.
50-7, okay.
50-7. That is, I honestly think TCU is the second best team. They have the best offense. They have the best offense in college football. One of the worst defenses. For a top 10 team, one of the worst defenses. That's a whole other thing. You know, when they get to Baylor, they're going to have.
Yeah, that's going to be another high scoring game like last year.
Exactly. Defense is going to come down to it.
Yeah.
They need to find a system that works. They have athletes.
Yeah.
Every Division I team has athletes. They got to find a system. But their offense is unreal.
It's crazy.
So we talked about 2 weeks ago. You guys gave your college football playoff predictions. Have they changed at all? Who do you guys see in those Final Four spots matching up for the national title?
Well, I believe I still had I had Ohio State at 1. I said the SEC team, whoever came out of SEC. And there's no SEC team in the top 5 right now. So
you don't see any SEC teams in the college football playoff?
Yeah, I think they can move up. Not right now, but definitely later in the season they can move up. LSU, whoever comes out of the West. It's going to be interesting to see who comes out of the West.
Okay, I have Michigan State. I don't, when they play Ohio State, honestly I think Michigan State will be Ohio State because they've still been a little shaky. I still don't believe them completely at number 1. I think Clemson will be in there because I think they'll work out some of their kinks. They'll be less conservative. I think they can honestly make a playoff push. I'm going to put Alabama. I think Alabama, they're still pretty good. They're 8 right now. They could move up to top 4 spot. And then I'm going to put, I put TCU. I'm going to put TCU/Baylor because either one of those.
Yeah, whoever wins that game is going to come out of the Big 12.
One problem with
your
statement.
problem with it?
I do.
Okay.
Now, I like Clemson, obviously. Obviously, I have to.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that they're going to work out some of their kinks, and I do believe that. And you said that they're going to move up to 4 because they've worked out some of those kinks. Now, Ohio State has had a lot of kinks with their quarterback system. They haven't found a quarterback yet. So you're telling me that they won't find that out in Michigan? They won't work that out in Michigan State?
They might, but it's basically.
So you think Michigan State is just playing out better than Ohio State?
I think they're about even, but I think Michigan State will win that game, and I think Clemson will beat Florida State, which will be able to get them into the top 4, into the playoffs.
So you don't think Ohio State? What do you think Ohio State should be ranked then? Because you don't have them on your top 4.
I don't have
them.
Because
1,400 people are disagreeing with you. 1,400 very intelligent people are disagreeing with you. 1,444 people is how many votes Ohio State got in the AP. So a lot of people are disagreeing.
Yeah, but if they lose to Michigan State, do you still think they'll be in the top 4?
Oh no.
No, if they lose one game, they won't be in the top 4 just because Ohio State's schedule is
it's weak. Yeah,
it's really cake. Okay, but honestly, I don't see Ohio State losing a single game. I really don't. Now they're scaring the living death out of me. They are.
Mm-hmm.
But Ohio State will get better. They will come playoffs. I mean, they'll have this figured out.
They'll be ready.
Ezekiel Elliott is so good.
Yeah.
Like people are having this huge hype around Leonard Fournette, which obviously But Ezekiel Elliott is so good. Cardale Jones is unreal when he gets going. JT Barrett, if he gets a chance, he's unreal. Braxton Miller is an athlete. The defense is loaded. Joey Bosa anchors that. That's good. That's good. I mean, honestly, my top 4 in my playoff predictions: Ohio State, TCU, provided they get by Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously that would knock Baylor down. Clemson, and then I think it comes down to LSU or Bama.
Don't sleep on Texas A&M either. They're a good team.
What are they, 10th? 9th. They're 9th right now. And yes,
Miles Garrett at defensive end is dangerous.
Yeah. Very dangerous. But LSU and Bama, I mean, those 2 teams, those are very good. It's going to come down, in my opinion, at one SEC team will be in there from either LSU or Bama.
I think definitely it comes down to who's going to stop Leonard Fournette. If somebody's able to stop them, they have a chance to beat LSU.
I don't think you can stop them.
I don't think anybody. Contain them.
Contain them. You can't stop that.
I mean, if Clemson played LSU, maybe they could contain them, just like they did.
I don't know. Leonard Fournette is something serious, man.
He is, but I mean,
we have a really young defense. I mean, I think out of the top 4 that I mentioned, Ohio State, TCU, Clemson, and let's say LSU.
Okay.
Out of the 3 teams that Clemson would face, I think we'd have the most trouble with Ohio State or LSU.
I don't think we would beat either of them. I don't think.
Our front 7, our defensive front 7 are very young. Very young. You know, last year's defense, obviously, I wouldn't be worried about it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'd be worried about our secondary because our secondary is very young. Now our secondary
experience, yeah.
Exactly. Our front 4 or our front 7 is kind of shaky right now.
Switching gears a little bit into the NFL, well, past weekend proved to be very exciting. Broncos versus Vikings. The Saints beat the Cowboys in overtime. And then the Seahawks kind of got lucky on Monday Night Football. And then, of course, the Dolphins head coach is already fired just 5 weeks into the season. What's y'all's take on that kind of crazy weekend in the NFL? And especially on Monday Night Football, who do you think deserved to win that game?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, the Seahawks, just like they did 2 years ago, they got another lucky call. I mean, Calvin Johnson should have had that. I mean, he shouldn't have been able to bat it out of the end zone. They should have called it, and then that would have put it at the 1, I think.
Yeah, like 6-inch line, somewhere around there.
Something like that. They probably would have gotten in.
Yeah.
The Seahawks probably would have lost. I mean, and I also think it was crazy. The Saints and Cowboys game, even though both these teams aren't that good, I just think it was crazy how the Cowboys kept getting injuries during the game. Like they've had so many injuries.
Dunbar got hurt now.
And then even more people. Like they had like 3 receivers and Jason Witten. That was mind-blowing.
I mean, just hitting the Monday night game, the Seahawks are winning. Like, I mean, they're 2-2 now.
Now, when Cam Chancellor came back there, 2-0.
Well, yeah, they're 2-0 now that Cam's back, but also they're winning and they have yet to score a rushing touchdown, I believe.
Yeah, I did see that stuff.
They're one of 3 teams without a rushing touchdown, and then one of 3 teams without an interception. And like, what are the main things that the Seahawks had last year and the year before that were really that were really special? And that was their secondary, their defensive secondary, and Marshawn Lynch.
But Marshawn Lynch didn't play past 2 games, right?
Right. I mean, but I mean they're 2-2. They're still in good shape, and they haven't even remember we talked about the Broncos last week, and we said how their offense isn't even that good this year. And when that starts picking up, then things are going to start clicking. And I think the Seahawks are the same way.
Exactly.
ESPN has Seattle ranked 7th in the power rankings, and honestly, that's pretty favorable for Seattle, especially being at 2-2. But they'll get better. But also, I want to say my biggest game of the week, and Horace, if you want to quote me, remember?
Okay.
Was it? No, it wasn't last week. It was about 4 weeks ago. Because I wasn't on 2 weeks before that, but I said the Falcons aren't that good.
Yeah, take it back.
I said the Falcons are going to be decent this year. I said they're going to be better than the year back, so I wasn't too far off. Now I will admit that I am wrong. Falcons are legit.
Hey, I have to follow up with that. I was also wrong about the Panthers. I wasn't a believer, but hey,
thank you, Horace.
They still, as like we've been talking about earlier, haven't played anybody, but they're proving themselves. Just kind of seeing just them generate some offense, and as well as defense, they look great against, of course, it's the Bucs, ranked 32 in the power rankings. But honestly, the Panthers are getting it done right now. The NFC South is looking strong, and that's something nobody thought would happen.
Yeah, the one thing I wanted to mention about the Falcons is now they're 4-0. Devonta Freeman, I mean, we talked about him last week, and I said, he's had great weeks, but I wasn't sold on him yet, and he did it again, 3 touchdowns. He now has 7 touchdowns in his last 3 games.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, 7 touchdowns in the last 3 games, and that hasn't happened. A Falcons running back hasn't done that since 2012. So the Falcons are 4-0 now. I mean, Falcons are looking good. Atlanta fans, you got to be proud of the team that you guys have had. Your offensive coordinator, your new offensive coordinator is doing something right. I mean, you guys have a good team. Julio Jones is unreal. Matt Ryan's looking good. The whole team is really clicking, and I'm excited to see how it goes. I mean, they crushed the Texans 48-21. They beat them really bad.
They ran all over them. Falcons are very explosive at 4-0. They don't have a hard schedule compared to the Panthers.
They have the easiest schedule
Exactly. The Panthers, they're 4-0, but I'm still not a believer in the Panthers.
The Panthers and Falcons have nearly identical schedules.
I'm not really a believer in the Panthers. The Panthers have the Seahawks in 2 weeks. Yeah, they have a very tough schedule coming up.
The Colts are not that good this year, and once again, I think it was 4 weeks ago that I picked the Colts to be one of my Super Bowl favorites. And I'm looking like an idiot now because Andrew Luck isn't playing that well. And that's another thing. I said Andrew Luck was going to get the MVP because I thought he was going to limit his turnovers, and he's done the exact opposite.
Well, one thing about the Colts, they're in a weak division, so they're still going to have a chance to get to the playoffs and make some noise.
But they need to fix some stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So what do you guys look like your biggest game this week or most surprising game in this upcoming week in the NFL? What do you guys think?
Seahawks and Bengals. I like that game. A few weeks ago, I had the Seahawks in the top 5 and when we did the power rankings. I'm a believer in the Seahawks. I like what they're doing. They have to protect Russell Wilson better. He got sacked a lot last week. They're going to have to protect him better. And when Marshawn Lynch comes back, he's going to be help the running game.
And Marshawn Lynch is I mean, he's unreal. You can tell that the Seattle's missing their, obviously star running back there. I mean, they haven't scored had a rushing touchdown yet.
Well,
but
to that, there's also the little point that most people probably don't remember, but they traded Jimmy Graham for
Max Unger
for Jimmy Graham, and Max Unger, he's a Pro Bowl center.
Yeah.
He's gone, so the running game suffered, and Jimmy Graham's not being involved nearly as much as everyone thought he would.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to have to get him more involved.
Yeah, they got to find some way.
Yeah.
They really do.
I think. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, my big game this week is the Rams and the Packers. I mean, the Rams, their defensive, like their front seven,
They're legit. They're really good defense. Obviously, the Packers have been tearing it up. Aaron Rodgers, James Jones, Randall Cobb. I think it'll be the defense versus the offense. The Rams or whichever one wins. So I think that'll be a big game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. That's gonna be a great game. My biggest one personally is the Saints and the Eagles. Although that sounds kind of crazy, both teams kind of struggling, but that game is really gonna kind of define like where each team goes from there. Drew Brees coming back last week and getting the win. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna play. My bad, guys. Quick game.
You're not.
So I'm gonna say a topic, all right, and you guys are gonna use your whiteboards. Similar to last week, but this time you guys are going to think of the first hashtag that comes to mind when I say these terms, all right? And I'm going to award a point to the best one. Last week, Zach took home the trophy.
We already know I'm not getting
We're going to see who holds on to it. So the very first one, the Florida Gators versus Ole Miss. What's the hashtag for that one?
Are you talking about the team Florida or the game?
We're talking about the game.
Okay, I heard Florida Gators, and I was like, I don't know if you meant game.
Oh man.
All right. 5, 4.
Don't be late.
3.
Hold on.
2, 1. Reveal and read it off for me.
One at a time.
All right, I'll go. There we go. Hashtag surprising. I think it was,
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I think it was surprising because I didn't think Florida was that good. I thought they were really bad last year. I thought they would continue through this year. They were unranked, and then they went all the way up. Now they're at 11. I thought I should still be a little lower than that, but I just thought it was surprising that that they destroyed Ole Miss. I thought it was surprising to me.
Me? LOL. What a joke that Ole Miss was at 3. And thank the Lord that they're not even in the top 10 now. I mean, Florida, is a great team. They're ranked 11. They're a good team. Their defense, like I said earlier, is really, really good. And Ole Miss, they showed that Ole Miss is not a number 3 team. Thank God. LOL. I don't even want to say so much about it because no. Your turn.
I struggled choosing mine, but I had hashtag Greer in the swamp. Quarterback Will Greer for Florida. He was outstanding, 24-29, 271 yards for 4 touchdowns. Ole Miss just really couldn't stop him. He had a great day for the Gators.
Hey, I think I gotta give that to Zach. I totally agree. I totally agree. Anderson, you're contradicting your points from last week, but we'll see what you can do from here. Zach is.
I'm contradicting my quotes out of context from last week.
Hey, but definitely Greer in the swamp. I totally agree. 1 point to Zach. 1-0-0 on the panel. The next one. Hashtag this. Seahawks versus Lions. Monday Night Football. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Go ahead, Matthew. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Zach.
I put hashtag tragic. The Lions could have easily won that game. A blown call by a referee. They went to review it, but it was really nothing they could do at that point. They would have had a first down at the 6-inch yard line, so easily could have.
6-inch yard line?
Well, you know what I mean. 6-inch inside the one, you know. They could have easily did a quarterback sneak right there, handed off to the fullback, and easily took the lead.
Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah, I'll go first next time.
Okay, I got hashtag refs gave it away again. Obviously, you guys know against the Packers last year when the Seahawks were kind of on the rise, they got that questionable call with Golden Tate and whatever the Green Bay defender was going up like this. And the sad part was these weren't even the replacement referees. These were the regular referees, and they still got it wrong. He obviously hit it out of the end zone. You can't do that. And yeah, that's my hashtag.
All right, mine. Hashtag 2 years ago. 2 years ago, this would have been an amazing game. The Lions were good. The Seahawks were the best team in the NFL. And they really showed that they're not, I mean, both teams are beatable now. I mean, Lions aren't nearly as good after Ndamukong Suh left. Calvin Johnson's older. Stafford's not that good of a quarterback, and it's finally showing now that Calvin isn't Megatron per se now. The Seahawks, I mean, they need to find it out. I mean, their offense is so inconsistent, it's getting bad. But, I mean, that, like I said, 2 years ago, this would have been awesome.
And one thing about the Lions, they still have yet to find a running back. They have to find a running game to try to help out Matt Stafford.
Yeah, big time. And that's one thing that they've never had.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to have to give that one to Anderson, actually. I totally agree. Hashtag 2 years ago. It's crazy how franchises change. Like you said, teams can go from being at the top of the league, like the Seahawks, to kind of struggling to get wins like they did on Monday night. All right, number 3, college football playoff. Hashtag that one.
Wait, exactly.
College football playoff?
Yep.
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, Anderson.
All right, college football playoff. It's a little broad, so I'm just gonna try to do the stupid right here. Hashtag Dr. Pepper guy. I absolutely love the college playoffs because of this guy. Okay, he makes it just.
Commercials are so funny.
Oh, awesome! I mean, the guy's unreal. Hashtag Dr. Pepper guy. I mean, that's my dude right there. If I could meet anybody in the world and be like anybody, it would be him. But honestly, just putting in some information here, or just like my take on the college football players. I think we're gonna have a really good one this year. A lot of teams that are beatable. A lot of teams going up to the college playoffs. I have no idea who's gonna be in it really. I just like you said, they're predictions. That's all they are.
Yeah.
I don't know who's gonna be in there at the end of the year. I hope Clemson's in there, but there's so much shaking in the top 25 going around these past couple of weeks that I have no idea what it's gonna be like. But hashtag Dr. Pepper guy.
Okay. I got a hashtag unpredictable, kind of like what you said. There's no Alabama. There's no no Alabama. There's no dominant team. Every team is beatable. I don't know who's going to be in the playoffs. So, yeah.
Basically going along with what you all said. Hashtag we will see. It's a lot of questions right now. A lot of good teams still left to play each other, especially in the SEC West. Alabama, LSU. It's just kind of early to see who's going to come out of there.
Yeah, definitely. Totally agree with what you guys are saying. Unpredictable for sure. I'm going to give that one to kind of equal out the playing field to Matthew. So 1 all across the board. Definitely unpredictable. Hey, this one. I need you guys to give me your best one. All right, this decides who wins. Okay. Hashtag for the Clemson versus Georgia Tech game. Make it creative. Winner takes all, and the trophy for the week.
Ooh, mine's winning. Mine's winning.
I need some more time.
I'm going last. I'm proud of this one. I'm really proud of this one.
All right, Zach, go ahead.
I put hashtag we too deep.
I like it.
The depth on our defense and our running game, it was pretty good. Saw Deshaun Watson getting outside of the pocket, running for almost 100 yards and a touchdown. We looked very good, and it was a very good game.
Yeah.
All right, I got hashtag Tigers greater than Jackets.
You can't put a symbol in the hashtag.
Yeah.
No, you can't. It'll just be Tigers.
Okay, fine.
And then it'll be like a greater sign, and then like Jackets is part of the hashtag.
Than
Do you tweet?
Is that better?
Do you tweet?
Man.
Do you have a Twitter?
I do.
Then you should know. Tigers
Tigers
are
are better
My
than
dad does that.
Jags.
He'll do like a period or an exclamation mark. Like, you can't
It's
do
gonna
that.
mess up the
You
hashtag.
can't. It's gonna mess up the hashtag. But go on. I'm sorry.
Anyways, okay. Obviously, you guys know Georgia Tech was pretty hype at the beginning of the year. They were, I don't remember what they exactly were ranked, but they're 2-3. They've lost to Duke.
They've lost 3 straight games.
They lost 3 straight games.
Duke, North Carolina.
This was supposed to be a huge game, like after the Notre Dame game. Now it's just gonna be a letdown from the Notre Dame game because obviously that was like the most hype game I'd ever been to.
Yeah.
Most people probably
You'll
ever
ever
been
be
to.
to, I
Yeah,
think.
ever been to EP to. So, yeah, I think the Clemson's gonna win. Probably 2 touchdowns maybe. So.
All right. I hope this one, I hope you guys think this is as good as what I do. Okay. All right. Hashtag BYOG. Bring your own guts. That's a quote from Dabo Sweeney. If you didn't see his post-game interview, he said, "Bring your own guts," and that's what the guys did last week. And kind of taking some information from your take, Georgia Tech was ranked very high, top 15 team, I believe. I think there was 16 or something like that.
Some people had them coming out the ACC.
I don't remember exactly. Yeah, some people had them coming out of the ACC. Yeah. And I tell you what, Georgia Tech is better than what they're playing.
Yeah,
they are better than North Carolina.
They're going to be hungry for a win,
and they are close. I mean, the Notre Dame Georgia Tech game was close. Yeah. That's the Georgia Tech team. Georgia Tech has a string of losses going on, and they're going to look to get off the schneid here this weekend.
Yeah, definitely.
And Clemson better be ready, because if we don't bring our own guts, it's going to be big time. It's going to be a huge upset. Yeah. Georgia Tech is a great team, and we have to bring our own guts.
And that triple option is dangerous.
Very dangerous. We can't. It's tough for us. Yeah.
Bring your own guts for sure. Anderson's taking that point for sure. Hey, I know Georgia Tech doesn't have a great record, but like we've been talking about on the panel this actually whole year, they are better than their record says. And just history repeats itself, and Clemson just is always kind of shaky against the triple option. But we're actually going to do a couple more questions for you guys, so you guys aren't completely out. So the next question.
We still have a chance. We still have a chance.
This is so rigged. Oh, winner takes all here. Oh, Anderson won. Okay, we'll do some more questions.
Hey, I promise you I did not decide that, but tell me this. The SEC East. We know the West is stacked, but give me a hashtag for the SEC East.
Oh, man.
The hashtag for the SEC East.
I don't know.
My brain's fried after thinking the last one. I brought out all the stops just like you told me to.
All right.
All right, Anderson, you start this one off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hashtag fried chicken. Okay. All right. Hey, you didn't even let me explain here.
Yeah, I got to hear this one.
You didn't even let me explain here. This is going against the Gamecocks.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Does it make sense?
Make a
little more sense now. All right. Thank you. Fried chicken. Okay. The Gamecocks are garbage. The SEC East isn't that good. I mean, I might as well just put fried SEC East. You know, the SEC is a little bit of a letdown this year. They're not the powerhouse that they were last year, and probably what they're going to be in the years to come. But, you know, hashtag fried chicken because the Gamecocks are just pathetic.
All right, I got hashtag where are you USC? Basically, kind of what he's going off of. I mean,
are you looking at my board when I'm writing
I
stuff?
am not. This is straight from my heart or my brain or whatever. Oh yeah, like you said, South Carolina, they're terrible this year. This USC Clemson game, it's not going to be anything like it has been before. Kind of sad about that because I was going to go down to the game and watch it, but it'll still be.
Bring your swimming trunk.
Yeah.
And your floaties.
Yeah. So I'm just like USC. The only decent team is Georgia. They're not even that good, as you could see from Alabama whooping them. They're still respectable. They're not terrible, but all the other teams then are what? Arkansas, Tennessee.
Arkansas in the West, but Tennessee.
Not bad. Tennessee,
Kentucky, Missouri.
Kentucky. I mean,
Kentucky.
What are
if
these?
we're playing basketball,
Yeah,
it's a
we're
whole
playing
other
basketball.
hashtag.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been a letdown. I mean, yeah.
All right. I put hashtag 2-team race. It's really only like 2 legitimate teams, Florida and Georgia. That's going to be a good matchup, like it is every year when those 2 teams play each other. I like Georgia coming out of the SEC still, even though they lost to Alabama. The offensive line has to play better, has to give Grayson Lambert some time in the back and create some open lanes for Nick Chubb. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah. They got to do a lot more because Georgia's very underwhelming right now.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to give that one to you, Zach. Definitely a 2-team race with Florida and Georgia. And honestly, surprisingly, I think the winner could. It sounds crazy. The winner could come out of the East. Both those teams have time to kind of repair and figure themselves out before that SEC championship game. So you never know. You can't count them out. But the last question.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
If I win this, are we gonna have another?
Hey, it is kickers, NFL kickers. Give me a hashtag on that one. Definitely a crazy weekend for all kickers from all over the league struggling. What do you guys think about that? All right, we're gonna start with Zach on this one.
All right,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
I put hashtag you have one job. Terrible job by the
I can't beat that
kickers.
one. I gotta try. Oh my God.
This week, several kickers got cut. Josh Scobie, kicker for the Buccaneers, got cut, and they really disappointed this week. It's going to be interesting to see what happens this upcoming week.
All right.
Wow, that was good.
I'll let you come up with yours. I got hashtag you have no job now.
Okay.
Like you said, they got cut. Jaguars kicker got cut. Jaguars got cut. Scobie from the Steelers got cut. I thought he was going to be pretty good. I had him on my fantasy team, but oh my God, kickers have been terrible. Hawker, he missed the potential game winning against Cowboys. I mean, it's been a terrible week for kickers. And I actually read a stat. It's not completely, I don't know, because what was I going to say? Like, usually PATs, they obviously, you guys know, they've been moved back.
Yeah, they moved it back.
They've been moved back. So usually when they kick a PAT, that's kind of like a practice, like, oh,
Easy.
this is how I'm going to kick
guaranteed
it.
point, basically.
Now there's so much pressure on them trying to make it. It's like a 33-yard now,
Yeah.
33-yarder now. So there's a little more pressure, and then it gets to their head, especially the young kickers. So it's not completely all their faults, but they still been pretty terrible.
All right, I gotta compete here. I gotta try something. I'm pulling out something. All right, this is out there. All right, hashtag McDonald's all day breakfast. Okay, McDonald's all day breakfast, because that's what these kickers are gonna be doing now. That's their job. They're gonna be serving all day breakfast from now on.
You must be hungry, man. You went with food.
the last
two.
Hey, I like it. I like you have no job. That's definitely is the case for this week. I got to give that one to Matthew. Since we're tied up, we're going to hit you guys
with one more question.
I'm sorry.
No.
You can't leave it a tie, right?
Is this the truth?
What's it, 2-2? It's 2-2.
Everybody has
2-2.
two.
So, hey, I promise you, winner takes all.
I won the first round.
So, give me... Man, I'm trying to think of one.
Talk about Josh Norman.
All right, give me a hashtag about Kirk Cousins.
Oh, that's a weird one. Okay.
Oh, come on.
Not Josh Norman? You can't do that. Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
Can we change this?
All right, hey.
Can we change
All
this?
right.
Kirk Cousins.
I'm trying to be funny and mean, but I can't with Kirk Cousins.
Let's see what we got.
You've just been average, I mean.
Hey, give me a hashtag on Andy Ratchburn. Bun.
Ratchburn? Did you mean to... Horace, that's strike 2 tonight.
Wait, are we doing this?
You put your performance from last week, and that's strike 7.
What about Cleveland sports?
Cleveland sports.
Man, I'm running out of ideas over here.
Hey, I like Cleveland sports.
Okay.
Or Charlotte sports.
Yeah, go ahead. Cleveland sports.
Cleveland sports. All right.
All right, Matthew, kick this one off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, hashtag I only see one team. I think you guys know what team that is. That's the Cavs.
The Browns?
The Browns. Yeah, obviously you guys know Browns aren't good. Eagles. Indians aren't good. Cavs, if LeBron didn't come back, they would be bad too, so.
Now, the Indians aren't good because they were above 500, or are they not good because they just didn't make the playoffs because Kansas City Royals were really good? I don't know. I think I misheard you. Are you done with your point?
Yeah, I'm done.
I put hashtag the king is home. Like going basically what you said, only one good team in Cleveland. Cherish it while LeBron is there. You never know, he may leave again.
And he's not leaving again.
You never know. But I like the Cavaliers coming out the East this year. Definitely.
Think they come out of the East?
Yeah, I don't see any. As long as they stay healthy, I don't see anybody in the
big
East.
time. Oh, for sure. No matter what, I think.
Yeah.
All right, mine. Now this is a huge phrase for us Clevelanders. All right, hashtag there is always next year, and that really sums up Cleveland sports. And believe me, it's hard for me to always say this, but year after year, Cleveland sports show potential almost every game. whether, I mean, the Browns usually they'll be awesome for the first 3 quarters, and then they'll blow in the fourth quarter, which is what they've lost by they lost by a touchdown every for the last, I think, 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
You know, the Cavs going Game 6 in the finals.
Got hurt.
Everybody got hurt. You know,
It was just LeBron.
there's always next year. Can't wait till next year. There's always next year, and that really is. I mean, if there's a hashtag that best describes Cleveland, it is there is always next year. You know, I mean, Indians. You tried, man. You know, you were. I picked you to come out of the AL, and you guys had. I mean, they have a really good team. They really did. Their pitching staff was the 8th best in the league. Got very unlucky. Offense didn't really click all the time, but I mean, there's always next year. Can't wait.
I do know how you feel because Charlotte, last few years, it's always been, there's always next
We
year.
haven't won a championship since '64.
I don't think we haven't won a championship. Well, we've been around less, but still.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Close us off. What do you think, Zach?
He already went.
I already went.
Okay, hey, we're getting our. My bad. I was talking to the producer. I was just talking to the producer. I didn't decide this, okay? The winner, by split decision, not my choice again. Drum roll, please.
No.
Is Anderson. He took it.
Hey.
Anderson's taking the trophy. home
Now,
of the
did you
week.
do that because you feel bad for me? I don't want no pity trophy. I will gladly accept this. And I'll put this right on my trophy case alone because I have no other trophies. But don't feel, next week, don't feel bad for me here.
All right, hey, bring it next week. We'll see if you can hang on. We're going to close it off with some MLB. Give me what you guys think right now, postseason thoughts. Close it out for us.
Now, if we can get a producer looking up the score of the Cubs and the Pirates
that's
game,
going on
if you
right
guys
now.
don't mind, real quick,
Yeah.
just so we can give everybody an update here and update ourselves.
I like the Pirates.
What a postseason we're gonna have.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
This is, it's 4-0 Cubs. Wow.
4-0 Cubs.
4-0 Cubs. Yeah. Any home runs in this?
Our Arrieta must be pitching pretty good. 0 runs for the Pirates.
Yeah, Arrieta is awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
we talked. You know, Willie said that that was the MVP, and I kind of argued with him. I don't think he's necessarily the MVP, but he is. Arrieta's the real deal.
Yeah,
He's playing very well. He's obviously 0.75 ERA since after the All-Star break. That's the best in history. That's hard to argue with, really is. But this year, we're in for a treat. I mean, if you guys are not baseball fans, still tune into the postseason because postseason is a time where you become a baseball fan. You really see what baseball's all about. 162 games is a long time.
Yeah.
But when you get to October, it's big time.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to say, the Yankees and the Astros played last night. They're the first wild card game. Astros won 3-0.
Yeah.
And a crazy stat that on our other sports show on Sundays at 10 o'clock in the morning. Put in a little promo there. I said that I brought up the stat that when the Astros hit 2 or more home runs, they win 70% of the time. When they hit 1 or less, they win 20% of the time.
They got 2 last night.
They had 2 last night and they won. I mean, it's a winning formula, and hopefully they can stick by it. But in the Rogers Center isn't Yankee Stadium. It doesn't have that short porch. I mean, Rogers Center is statistically a good offensive park, good home run hitting park. But Astros got to play. Dallas Keuchel just pitched on 3 days rest. You can't expect him to go 6 innings, have 7 strikeouts on 3 days rest every time.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, the Blue Jays offense is just too good, and the Blue Jays pitching anchored by David Price. They're unreal. I think Blue Jays are going to come out of the AL. I think the Dodgers are going to come out of the NL, or the Cubs. The Cubs are really good too.
I really like the Dodgers. Their pitching staff is just excellent, especially 1-2, Kershaw and Greinke.
Best 1-2,
and then,
best 1-2 in a while.
AL, I think it's going to be out of the Blue Jays and Royals. I'm not sure yet who, but I like the Royals. They were a young team last year, and this year they have a little bit more experience.
That's going to be a big
good.
key. The Royals have been here. The Royals have obviously been here. They're still hungry. They have that taste of losing last year's series in their mouth. I think they're going to come out pretty strong here. But like I said earlier, the Blue Jays offense is unreal.
Yeah.
They got guys that are, they can just knock the cover out of the ball.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really fun postseason this October and a little bit of November. It's going to be so much fun to watch. I strongly encourage everybody who's even not a baseball fan, who hates baseball, to give it a chance because the atmosphere is awesome, the fans are awesome. They always have either Bucktober. The Pirates have a blackout right now. It's going to be a great game. I'm so excited to watch the postseason.
Thanks, guys. That's all we have for you this week. But as Anderson said, second sports show, Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. And don't forget, Clemson versus Georgia Tech, huge ACC matchup this weekend. That's all we got for you this week. We'll see you on Sunday. Thank you.